Hi everybody and welcome. Let's make a crate. So I'm using Walmart paint stir sticks, and all I'm doing here, well, you're going to need 16 individual pieces. So that's three, how many was that? Six, seven, 8 pieces? Is that right? Yeah, 8 pieces, because you're going to get 2 out of each piece. Yeah, don't mind me, not professional. Anyway, we're going to cut them down to 7 inches. You can make this as big or as small as you want. After I got it done, I thought 7 inches may have been a little bit too much. Now, I love the crate, don't get me wrong. It's going to store a lot of my paint supplies and whatnot, the taller bottles. So I made it 5 inches tall, and then it's square. So it's a square, so each of the sides are 7 inches. So I don't know what I showed you there. You can't see it when you put it in fast motion. Anyways, you're going to get 2 slats out of each paint stir stick. So we need 8 paint stir sticks, and I did use the Walmart ones. This is the last of my Walmart supply, and I'm just marking them off, and I'm showing you that you can cut them with the miter shears, or you can cut them, you can score them and score them and score them with a utility knife, or I took mine out to my chop saw or miter saw and did it that way, because my hand strength is just not good anymore. So I'm taking nutmeg brown and adding some water to make it kind of like a stain, and I'm going to stain all the pieces. And I didn't make enough to get all the way through all 16 pieces, but when I add to make more, it gives them each their own unique color, because maybe I did 3, and I did the fronts and the backs, so, and the sides. Make sure you get full coverage on it, because you will be able to see the inside of the crate. But anyways, so when you run out, when you make more, you don't get it exactly right, because it's not really measurements. So you'll see the sticks all have different colors. Not all, but some of them are matched, and some of them are a little bit darker than others. But it gives it its its whimsical quality. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm figuring out how far apart I want these to be, and what we're going to do is, when you decide how big of a gap you want in between it, we're going to take a piece of, I'm showing you, it's a skewer. It's an actual skewer from the flea market that I get, and the it's a Chinese tent. Everything in there is Chinese made. So I actually got them for $1, and they do have the pointy end. It's not just a bamboo stick, it's actually a skewer. Now here I was putting them sideways to say, you know what, you can make this sideways if you want to, but you would need to decide that before you cut them, because I think you would want them shorter, and you'd probably need at least 4 per side. But anyways, I went back to the sideways here. Then I'm going to take a piece of masking tape and stick it on there to hold them down while I decide how long I need to cut the skewers. So 5 inches is what I came up with on how tall our crate is going to be. But anyways, I picked up a couple packs of those skewers, and I absolutely love them for side pieces and the accent pieces. But this being only 5 inches, you can use a regular craft stick that you can get at the Dollar Tree and just cut them down to 5 inches. You will basically cut the rounded tips off of them, and those would work perfect, absolutely perfect. And now all these skewers I did cut with my miter shears, and I don't have such a hard time with those. But the bigger pieces like the paint stir sticks, I do have trouble with my hands. I just don't have enough hand strength anymore. I try to keep, you know, the worst part about getting older is you see things changing and there's really nothing you can do about it. You know, I try to stay active. I try to keep my knees moving all the time, my hands moving all the time. But I'm still losing my strength little by little. But I will probably craft until the day I die because I love it. But anyway, so you're going to make these out at 5 inches a piece, and you're going to need 2 per corner. Yeah, 2 per side. So 2, 4, 6, 8. You're going to need 8 of them. Yeah, I'm just using my mat to measure 5 inches. You know, I use my mat, that mat there, making quilts, to measure out my fabric and whatnot. But you know, when it comes to crafting, I have that down underneath me and I never used it for measuring. And I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you, girl? It's like I just lose my mind. Anyways, these I got from Amazon and they're really good miter shears. I probably need to change my blade. I've used it a heck of a lot, but anyways, for these small jobs, they work perfect. Just make sure that you keep it in there straight. You don't tilt it to the side or anything. It has a little fence, I guess you call it, that it sets up against. So if you have rough edges, sand them down. So you have a little bit of snaggle there. Same stain for these. It doesn't accept the stain. These pieces don't accept the stain like the wood did, so I didn't wipe it off at all. Like if I got too much on the slats, I would give it a little wipe with the towel, but this would just wipe it right back off. So just put it on there and set them down. But with the craft sticks, you're not going to have that trouble. You're not going to have that problem. And you can buy the bamboo sticks from Amazon. I do have some of those, and they're basically the same thing, almost identical. But it's almost like it has some kind of a coating on it, maybe because these were skewers and made for food, or maybe they have a coating on them that they're not supposed to have. But it did not want to accept that watered down version of paint. So here I start to put my tape on the side, and then I realize, no, that's where my skewer's going to go. So the skewer is what's going to hold it together for us while we build our pieces, you know, while we build each side. So I thought that would make it easier just to put these, I'm just going to call them craft sticks on the ends of our slats. And that'll hold it together for us while we do whatever else we do. The hot glue didn't hold for some reason. Maybe it's because I don't use a lot of it. I hate the glue globs, but I don't know if maybe it's because I'm in a basement or whatever. I do have Surebonder sticks that I'm using. I know Dollar Tree sticks, I don't get any hold out of those at all. I mean, hardly. But anyway, I don't know if it's the bamboo skewer, if it's the paint stain thing. So I'm going to put clamps on each slat. So I will have 6 clamps per side. I use my little clamps, and then I also use clothespins. Clothespins work great. They're cheap. I mean, you get that whole pack of whatever it is, 40 of them for $1. Well, it'll be $1.25 now, but I think they're still only $1 at Walmart. So we're just going to repeat this process for all 4 sides. Line them up. Try to make sure you're even with what you did on the previous one. That's what the lines on the grid I used to make sure that I was doing it the same each time. Dab of glue, craft stick, and then repeat. I just did this. I just left this in there to just show you how easy it really is. Now if your hot glue holds, then it's super easy, but mine didn't hold. You see, when I pick it up, they just fall right back off. So I finally got them all stuck, set them aside, and now I'm going to start putting them together side to side, piece to piece. So the hot glue works on this part. Maybe I'm not letting my hot glue set long enough, or heat up long enough. I don't know. Life's little mysteries. But the end result is just fantastic, so I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about the means, the ends. The means justify the end justifies the means. I don't know. It's one of those two things. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. This was easy. It was easy to make. I know when I go into thrift stores and even Walmart, and I look at their crates and I'm like, look at the prices they want on these crates. And I always think, well, I'm just going to make my own, and then I never do. Well, guess what? Now I can go in there and look at them and say, ha, I made you for $4. Yeah, so it would have been 1, 2, 3, yeah, under $5 to make this crate. And I guarantee you can't, you might get lucky and find old crates for cheap, but you're not going to find newer crates for any cheaper than that. I went to a swap meet and somebody had made up a bunch of crates, and the crate this size they wanted $25 for. And I thought, no way, I can make that cheaper than that using DIY items. You go and buy a piece of wood, it's expensive, but good Lord, not that expensive. And people pay for it because they want it, and here you go, you can make it for $5. Or, and you can use any materials that you want. So these are the medium craft sticks that I'm going to cut down and hide the seams on the corners of the crate. And these work perfect for that. So when I'm going to cut all these down, then I'm going to paint them, and I'm just going to use the nutmeg brown, no water. I want them to be a little contrasting color to the rest of the crate. So I don't use any water. I don't water the paint down at all. So, these end up being 5 inches. I believe they're 5 inches. But I measured them to the corner of the box, so I'm not 100% sure if they're exactly 5 inches. Just do by how big it needs to be to fit your box. We know that our height is 5 inches, but they might be a little bit bigger than that because the crate has different pieces put on it, so they might be bigger than 5 inches. I hope that made sense, and I'm sorry if it doesn't. Anyways, just measure your measure to your crate how big you need it to be. So I painted them all. I put that piece up there before I realized I forgot to. Oh no, something happened. I started the video and then something happened. I knocked something over with my sleeve, I think it was. So I just restarted the video and already had a piece on there. So I'm just bringing it to the corner. I want it to go slightly, very slightly over the edge of the crate so that it will butt right up against the next piece. Now on this I didn't have any trouble with my hot glue either, so maybe it was just the bamboo skewers. Though, like bamboo and wicker, my hot glue doesn't want to stick to. But anyways, so we want our pieces to butt right up against each other. So I left a little gap in there for a dab of hot glue, just to keep a hold of it while we work on the rest of our crate. And that gives that wood glue, you know, ample time. We give that wood glue ample time to dry, but that'll hold it there while we do the rest of it. Same thing. Then I get rid of any glue globs as they you know, pop out. That one I think I got on there crooked and I couldn't move it, so I had to redo it. I tried out the Gorilla wood glue, and I've used almost the whole bottle, and it's good. Once it dries, it's good. I think Tight Bond dries a little faster. You know, it's actually, you don't have to wait as long. So I had some spots that moved around a little bit. So I stuck a little bit of hot glue. And then I decided, wait a minute, let's put hot glue on the ends and the center. That way we don't have that pop open problem. And that worked better. So use a little bit of hot glue. One on each end, a dab in the middle, and then that holds it a lot better. So it holds, you know, it holds in 3 different spots instead of just one like when I started off. So it did work a lot better. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you, especially if you've made it all the way through. They had a dab of hot glue on there from the previous build. From the other one, I put the sides together, so I had to cut it off. And then look how pretty those, you know, the colors look together. So it's basically the same color, but I just used water in some and no water in the other. So here it is. I put some flowers in it just to show you what it would look like, you know, if you want to decorate it up. I don't have a really great selection of florals or greenery right now, but this doesn't look bad. I mean, you could put a potted plant in there and it would look really nice. And here it is as storage. Okay, thank you for watching. I appreciate it.